You've typed out your resume, you have all your references gathered, and you're ready to start your job search. You sit down to your computer, you click your way onto a reputable job site, and just like that, right before most people even realize it, you've already come to your first, and probably one of the most important hurdles in job searching: search criteria. To most people, the default search criteria starts pretty large scale. Most searches begin by asking you to search within an area like a city or a state, and then narrow down things like specific job titles or keywords. Then things start to get pretty specific really fast, because at this point you've gone from giving information to gathering information, which, if you aren't attentive or mindful about what you're looking for, can sometimes land you in a really bad job. This is really easy to do, and the consequences can get out of control pretty fast. I've talked with too many people who have worked in jobs that for one reason or another were bad fits for them, but who became trapped by their resumes or their finances. One person in particular had been working for the same company for over 15 years because of her financial and family needs. The stress was overwhelming, and I had a front row seat as I watched her work day to day in a job she hated for an employer who took advantage of her while she took handfuls of medication and antidepressants just to cope with her circumstances. The best way to avoid getting trapped into jobs like these starts with the application phase. While it's impossible to know everything about a job before going into it, there are some key details to look out for and some mindful questions you can ask yourself to dramatically reduce the chances your next job ends up like a Dilbert cartoon. Before you even start clicking on job descriptions, you need to establish a personal criteria, a list of things you are looking for in a job or specific needs you have your job needs to help you fulfill. This could mean anything from pay scale, amount of travel, education, certifications, or any other details that would impact your personal lifestyle. An easy place to start is to look at the company hours of operation or the expected hours of work within a week. If, for example, you have a strong commitment to your family, then jobs that ask you to start your shift super early or stay really late can be really detrimental after long extended periods, because you miss out on a lot of time that could be spent with your family rather than being at work too often. If the job you're applying for pays you an hourly wage, this is also a huge criteria, because a job that pays you a lot per hour doesn't always pay you for an average of 40 hours per week. Flexible hours can also be a mixed blessing, because many sales jobs reward performance, which gives you a huge potential to make a lot of money in a short amount of time, but also has the drawback of going through a long dry spell. This takes us to the next tip, which is not to make the mistake of being reeled in by jobs with higher pay. The pay scale of a job is often determined by a lot of factors, like the level of responsibility that comes with that particular job. Healthcare workers are often paid more based on the factors of their specific job duties, which is why a nurse who is helping a doctor in a surgery often makes more than a technician who takes vitals like blood pressure. In general, higher stress jobs will pay more than lower stress jobs because an employer is banking on the extra money you make to act like a kind of buffer to keep you in that job and enticing you not to work for a competitor. Now, I'm not saying that money isn't an important factor. Your finances are a big deal, but don't make the mistake of making the pay scale of a job determine where you end up. A high-stress job with high pay won't be anything but a black stain on your resume if you end up quitting. The last tip is a broad one, but it's probably the one that is the most underutilized by most people looking for jobs, and that is this. Survey the company you want to work for by looking at them objectively as a customer or a business professional. Do your research. Go to their website and click around. Look into websites like Glassdoor and check their reviews from former employees. Ask around to see if you know anyone who might know a current employee or anyone who might have some insight into the field you want to work in. It's a great time to ask yourself important questions about the career field you're looking into, and it's also a great chance for you to think of questions you will have if you end up interviewing for a job. You'll look much more professional and prepared if you have some prior knowledge about the industry and the company, and that frees you up during the interview to ask better questions and sidestep a small company dissertation. You want to make sure that you go into an interview asking questions about what the job is going to do for you. How is this job going to help you grow your skills as an employee and increase your potential as an individual for future jobs? The last thing you want is to go into an interview with a sense of desperation. In the words of Chris Voss, a bad deal is worse than no deal at all. Don't be afraid to walk away from a nightmare job opportunity just because they extend their hand and tempt you with higher pay. Trust me, you'll thank yourself when you finally find a better job with a company that values you for who you are and not just for what you can do for them. These tips should help narrow your job search and will make sure that your interviews are both more professional and more successful. But now's my chance to hear from you. I want to hear what you think. Do you have any helpful tips for interviewing that have helped you in the past? Are there any useful pieces of advice that you have that have helped you in the past when looking for jobs or going through job searches on search engines? Make sure you put a comment down below so we can all learn from your experiences. I'm always interested to hear your insights and ideas regarding each topic, and you're always welcome to leave a thoughtful comment below. If you haven't already, please hit the bell icon and subscribe to my channel. I try to make at least a couple of videos a month, and that helps to make sure you're notified when new content becomes available. Also, if you enjoyed these videos, please be sure to hit the like button. Knowing what content you enjoy helps me make more meaningful videos in the future.